Hello, Muhammad and Haziq, good to see you today. Guys, I wanted to do a group exam review video for you. I will review both of your exams, and you both did a good job in your first Chuks exams. First, Muhammad, I'll be talking to you. When you're practicing your blocking, try to keep your hand up so that we can teach ourselves that our inactive hand always needs to be protecting the high line of our body. Rather than down low like this. It's just a good habit to get into, because if we're going to be blocking here or even striking out to someone, we always want to be ready on this side in case we need to block over here, or grab an arm, wrap up, do something with this, and use it as a striking arm. So get into a good habit of when you're practicing your blocks, your figure eight blocks, your strikes, or whatever you might be, that other hand is going to be up close to your face. So on your Blitz 1, it was a pretty good kata. You had good control over the chuck. You had a couple of footwork mistakes. I think just learning from my video, you might have missed it, and that happens sometimes. I got to point it out though. So we start the kata, right? Side strike, strike, I turn and I block. From here, I actually step out with my left leg. My left leg steps forward, strike. Front strike, over the shoulder. I switch arms, I do a Riadora, and I take my right leg and I slide it across. And then I turn, my right leg stays in front. Strike, step forward, front strike. So that turn right there, you had the wrong footwork on it. And then Haziq, you did as well, because you are practicing it and learning it together, right? So again, Muhammad, I'll point that out. We block. And then you're ready, you head whip to your left. My left leg steps out in front. Strike, front strike. I switch arms, right leg, turn right legs in front, strike, front strike. And then I continue the form, of course, going down. And then the rest of it was good. And then there's one other small thing, Muhammad. It's not terrible, but it's just not the way that we actually demonstrate it in the kata. For example, okay, when we're going on the final sequence, strike, strike, front strike, it's strike, front strike. You don't actually have to do strike over the shoulder, front strike over the shoulder. You just go strike, catch, capture position under the armpit, front strike. Makes it a little bit faster and snappier in your combinations. So instead of this, for example, it's 1, 2. So there are a couple of points in the kata where it's strike, front strike. It's just strike, capture, front strike. Instead of strike over the shoulder, over the shoulder. It's just a step that you can remove from the kata. Okay, Haziq, I wanted to point out a couple of things. First of all, nice to meet you, sir. And I'm glad to see you training with your dad. That's really awesome. You're doing really good. That's a pretty big pair of nunchucks for you. They actually make kid nunchucks, or youth size, which are shorter. They're kind of hard to get a hold of maybe, so I don't know if they have them where you live, but for adult size nunchucks, you have good control over them. Definitely making sure when you practice your strikes and your blocks, yeah, I saw you practicing them out of your shizentai or your attention stance or ready stance almost. I would recommend you practice your blocks and your strikes out of a fighting stance usually, Haziq. It gets you into a good, comfortable situation, because later on we're going to be chuck sparring, which is really fun. But we're going to get used to getting into a good fighting position with these blocks and strikes. Yeah, and definitely making sure we're protecting your face when you're doing blocks and strikes. And on the front strike, you actually bring the arm across in front of your chest, kind of protecting your face when you do a front strike. So it's here. It's here. Instead of just this, for example, or even this. So when you practice front strikes, I'm here, and bring my arm in front of my chest, sort of protecting my face. Or side strikes. Okay? And then on Blitz 1, the same comments, making sure that you step out with the left, and then you readore with the right leg. You made the same mistake there. And when you do your front strike, like in the kata, definitely make sure that you don't do this. You don't want to strike like this. I have a lot of students that do this from time to time. And it's where you kind of have your chuck facing downward, like this, swinging across. You don't want to do that. You actually want to open your palm outward. You want to open your palm outward. Like that. Instead of this. This is kind of just moving the chuck in front of your body. You don't want to do that? You definitely want to make sure you actually rotate and push the nunchuck all the way across, allowing you to hit with the bottom, the heel of the chuck across the target, okay? And on your stances, bend your knees a little bit more. Your stances weren't bad. Like the position of your feet, bend your front knee a little bit more, and your back leg can almost be straight. It can be slightly bent, but your front knee needs to be a bit more. It's a front stance. I'm not entirely sure what you had a Shotokan dragon. I don't know if you do a Shotokan karate form, but in Shotokan karate and Zen Katsusazashi, we definitely have a wider stance. The front knee is bent, the back knee is just slightly bent, and you can use a stance similar to that in chucks. So definitely making sure, like we're in our forward stance, knees are bent, all 10 toes are facing forward. I come down the front, good powerful stance. My knee is bent, have a good strong base. Okay, Haziq, I know you can do it, so I want you to practice on that. So Muhammad and Haziq, y'all are very close to passing the exam, but I definitely need to make sure you have Blitz 1 down perfectly, because that's a very important part of the level. So please practice it, review it, and make sure you have that turned down and everything that I talked about. Clean up a little bit, good strong stances, practice a little bit more, keeping our hands up and things like that. And both of you are very close, so practice some more. Once you practice some and you definitely are prepared for it, give yourself some time, refilm. Muhammad and Haziq, y'all can both film just one video if you'd like. Like Muhammad, you could do Blitz 1 for me, and then Haziq, you could do Blitz 1 and then submit that to me, and then I'll grade that as another review, okay? Thank you guys so much and have a wonderful day today.